What is up, guys? I am Adam Smasher, and we have entered the semi-finals of my top 100 cartoon conspiracy theories. Just checked my sub box. 20 subs! That is pretty goddamn awesome. And this is only my third video. That's pretty good. Oh, oh, okay, good. Someone got the phone immediately. Great. Anyway, I'm really proud of you guys. Thank you for all these subs. I'm gonna keep making these kinds of videos. Yeah, I know you guys have been waiting a lot for the conclusion of this. So here's part 3. Conclusion might be coming next Sunday. Yeah. Well, I know how long you guys have been waiting, so I'm just gonna cut right to it. Alright, part 3 of my top 100 cartoon conspiracy theories. According to this theory, the wise Hawaiian Tito is the father of Otto and Reggie. In the show, it's implied that Tito and their mother went out, but according to this, Tito had an affair and she got pregnant. He never told Raimundo and took up a job at the shore shack. Not just 'cause he felt bad, but so he could see his kids every day. Now, there's actually proof that Tito could be the father. Now, I don't like to judge by the color of one's skin, but Raimundo is white, yet his kids look Hawaiian. And in one episode, Tito takes Reggie and Otto to his family reunion. Why would Tito do that if he wasn't their dad? So, what do I think? Well, Tito seems like a cool dude. Maybe when Raimundo's wife died, he saw that Raimundo was depressed and chose not to confess about the affair. However, I do think Tito would have been a good dude and would have came clean eventually. Now, the kids definitely do look like him, but I actually found out that Otto and Reggie's mom was Hawaiian too. So, that's definitely out. And personality-wise, they definitely took after their dad. So Dora's annoying, right? Well, maybe it's because she's handicapped and doesn't know how to act properly. Yeah, you look like a dick now. The theory claims Dora has Down syndrome and hydrocephalus. Don't worry, Dora. Arnold will be your friend. Anyway, there's proof to back this up. She speaks very loudly, speaks to no one, and lacks the ability to see things right in front of her. Her head is large and deformed looking, and the bracelet she always wears could actually be a medical alert bracelet. And of course, her animal companions are imaginary. I think this theory might be true, except for the fact there's a new show about Dora growing up and doesn't depict her as a handicapped person. Maybe she was just a slow child growing up. On an unrelated note, when I typed in Dora the Explorer, I got the result, why does Dora have more freedom than me? Wow. So this show has officially turned into the Maury Povich show. And speaking of white trash, this theory claims that Bobby's real father is Bill. The theory is backed up by dialogue in which Bill says, "I slept with Peggy," and in a flashback, Hank is implied to be sterile. So could it be true? No. Because when Bill says he slept with Peggy, Hank immediately goes, "No, you didn't," and Bill admits he was lying. Anyone who says that Bobby looks a lot like Bill, he also looks a lot like Hank when he was younger. So yeah, debunked. God damn it, Bobby. We all know who the Tick is, right? Right? Well, I didn't. Sorry, I've never actually watched it. It's not that I didn't want to watch it, it's just I was mostly a Cartoon Network person. This is on here mainly because I think it's pretty fascinating. The theory goes that the Tick has some kind of disease that has caused him to be bedridden. While bedridden, he becomes bored and imagines he's a superhero. All his supervillains and henchmen he makes up from looking at his surroundings, like a flower, faceless toys, and a chair. Yeah. An evil chair! So, what exactly do I think? Well, I've never actually seen the show, so I can't really say much about it. I mostly just put it on here because I hear it's a very widely accepted theory. That or he's crazy. Benefit of the doubt. Another dad theory. Okay, this is a theory I've wondered for years. Here are the possible candidates: Professor Oak, Giovanni, some guy named Silver, Red, or an unknown person. And even a Pokemon. Okay, I'm throwing that one out. So could Oak be the father? Well, that's really creepy because he's known her since she was Ash's age. But the two of them are always together. And in the Pokemon Christmas album, yeah, Ash states how he recalls Oak being in his house one Christmas night. Well, Oak is a Time Lord after all. But I don't think it's him. I'll just say for the purposes that I don't think his Poliwags are swimming no more. So, yeah, I think he's too old. How about Giovanni then? Ash, I am your father. So is Ash's dad really the villain? In the Pokemon musical, yes, this was a thing. You have no idea how popular Pokemon was. And this isn't even the worst thing to come out of the 90s. Anyway, Ash's mom, okay, her name is Delia, so I don't have to keep saying Ash's mom. Delia admits that she once dated Giovanni. So he's a high possibility, actually. And in one of the episodes of the Pokemon anime, Delia says that Ash's dad took 2 days to reach Viridian City. And that just so happens to be where Giovanni's gym is. Maybe we'll even have an episode where Giovanni finally convinces Ash to join his crime syndicate family. And be honest, what woman could resist Giovanni? Now, I could see this actually being true, except for the fact that Ash doesn't look anything like Giovanni, and Ash doesn't look nothing like his mom, so he'd need to look like his dad. So Giovanni's out. Besides, too cliche. How about Silver? No, not Giovanni's actual son. This old dude that appeared in the anime once. He does kinda look like Ash, except he has gray hair. And at a young age, Silver saw Moltres similar to how Ash saw Ho-Oh when he was young. Silver even claims to actually know Ash, but we're not sure why or how. Silver could be the father, but we haven't seen him in the anime since, so. Red? Well, Red doesn't exist in the anime, except in Origin. What if they only made Origin to introduce Red into the anime? Nah, too cool. But one theory claims that Red is already the champion, and does exist in the anime. He's just been waiting for Ash on Mount Silver this whole time. This could be true, but my theory is it's an unknown person. But I guess I'll have to wait and see. But one thing that is confirmed, Ash's mom is a whore. Alright, so Mickey Mouse is kinda, fucked up. He's done some bad shit. Well, Disney in general sometimes. Sometimes he's racist, sometimes he's a dick. But one thing that is clear is that Mickey Mouse is not the nice character we always thought he was. Yes, Mickey Mouse is a bit of an ass, but I think the most amount of proof that he's a dick is probably the fact that he never even gives his friends like a chance without showing up to steal their thunder. Well, he's better than the 1940s Mickey Mouse. Creepy ass costume. Welcome back to the Maury Povich Show. Seriously, people, wear some goddamn protection. Then we won't have this fucking problem. Fucking problem? Get it? Anyway, the theory states that Dr. Doofenshmirtz is Phineas's father. Now I'm upset I used up my one Darth Vader joke. So Phineas is a great inventor, very similar to Doofenshmirtz. They look very similar, too. And his mom did date him a long time ago. Could it be true? Well, for one, Doofenshmirtz already has a daughter, so that would mean he would have cheated on his wife at the time. And Disney tends not to like to spread the message, cheat on your wife. And in one episode, Doofenshmirtz admits he only went out with Phineas's mom once and never saw her again. Oh, and the creators say it isn't true, so what they say goes. I wish I could have watched Phineas and Ferb when I was younger. I think I could have gotten behind the 8 Years of Summer thing. Walt Disney was actually a very fascinating and mysterious person. There's a lot you probably didn't know about him, which is why stories like he's frozen, he's an FBI informant, he turned people away from Disneyland if they had facial hair, his final words were Kurt Russell, he's anti-Semitic, he's racist in general, he didn't even draw Mickey Mouse, and the list continues. And you might be surprised to hear that many of these are actually true, but we'll never know about the others. One thing we do know is Walt Disney was one of the greatest entrepreneurs in American history. And because of him, we have the Avengers. Alright, I know, you can't disprove imagination theory, so this one is gonna be unprovable. And you'd be right. But that's why this isn't the top 100 most believable cartoon conspiracy theories. It's the top 100 cartoon conspiracy theories, and since I'm making the list, I'll put imagination theories as high as I want on the fucking thing. If you don't like it, make your own damn list. Okay, I should probably explain why I put it on here. The Powerpuff Girls theory is that the Powerpuff Girls is just a game three sisters play. Blossom made the game, so she's the leader. Buttercup is the tough one, and she suggests who they should fight. And Bubbles plays along, but is easily distracted by her other toys. The mayor is actually their grandpa, who plays along with them, and Miss Bellum is their mother, who is always too busy to take the time to play with them. The professor is their dad, who works at home and actually takes the time to play with them. The villains are family members too. Mojo Jojo is their older brother. Him is their gay uncle that the professor never calls by name. He's just known as him. And Fuzzy Lumpkins is their molesty uncle. There's obviously more evidence, but I won't go any further. I think this theory could actually be true, but like I said, pretending to be you can't disprove imagination theory, so this one is gonna be unprovable. And yes, you'd still be right. Okay, for real this time. This has been a topic of fan speculation for some time. There have been hints throughout the series, but it's never shown what's under Double D's hat. Here are some instances. In one episode, they dress up as Kevin to impress him, and Double D has his hair sticking out through the front of his hat. So no, he's obviously not bald. Another time when Eddie is fucking up Double D's room, his hat gets stuck in the fan and gets pulled off. And they stare in amazement. Ed even says, "Cool." So obviously means it's a style they've never seen before. The creator knew how much people wanted to know, so he said he'd show Ed's hair in the movie. And when the scene came up, he lied. And judging by Eddie's reaction, "My eyes!" I'm guessing he did it for our own benefit. It's obviously a hideous hairdo, whatever it is, but it's what Ed says that's the clue. Does it hurt, Double D? This could mean his hair is in a very uncomfortable style, or that he has some form of scar on his head. Maybe it's an injury he got on his head when he didn't obey rules, and that's why now he always does. And in another episode that shows when Double D meets the Eds, he's wearing the hat. So whatever happened at a very young age. Maybe it's a birth defect of some kind, or maybe his brain is elongated and exposed, or he's a robot, or he's a Super Saiyan. I used to think Double D had dreads, since there's only one black kid in the entire neighborhood and he's bald. The other kids may never have seen that kind of style before. Why he has it? Who knows? I don't know. What do you think? Oh, and in the game Lunchroom Rumble, Double D throws his hat up and reveals his hair. Now, it's not an official game by the original creator, but it is an official Cartoon Network game, and I do think it should be considered. However, other hints in the series seem to debunk the other hints, so it's really impossible to tell. I guess we'll never know since Ed and Eddie is canceled. But you guys tell me what you think. Bet you didn't know Dino could talk, did you? Well, in Dino's first appearance, the Snorkosaurus story, Fred and Barty try to catch him after they hear him talk, but Dino is too smart and gets away multiple times. The episode ends when Dino finds Betty and Wilma, and he agrees to be their butler. And they let him stay. Nice, happy ending. But wait, why is it in the next episode Dino's now acting like a dog? Why doesn't he talk ever again? Somehow, from his first episode to the next, he lost his intelligence and his ability to speak. Well, what if the Flintstones lobotomized Dino to keep him as a pet? Or even to keep him from leading the Flintstones' dinosaur servants in a revolt? Every episode after, the other dinos seem depressed or not wanting to do anything. Their spirits have been broken after seeing what happened to Dino. They no longer resist, and they never complain to them, lest they become like Dino. Wow, that was actually really dark, but possibly true. Did I mention I hate Ash? I did. Well, another reason I hate Ash is because he never ages. Ash has been 10 for more than 10 years. How is this possible? People theorize he's in a coma, saw Ho-Oh, which made him remain 10 forever, or he's a midget and is really 26. There are a lot of theories, but I propose that it hasn't even been a year yet. Stay with me. In one of the Pikachu shorts, Ash and Pikachu celebrate their 1-year anniversary. However, they don't show Ash's face. Maybe it's because it actually hasn't happened yet. We assume that all the movies fall in chronological order, which may be true, but the Pikachu shorts could happen out of order. In Ash's journey right now, it hasn't currently been a year, but that Pikachu short is a flash forward. So Ash may still be 10, but that short happens in the future when he's 11. See? It could work. I don't know. I could be wrong. You guys let me know what you think. However, I did hear another theory that when I was younger I did actually believe, and it goes that Ash, when he was turned to stone by Mewtwo, he stopped aging. And there's other ones about, well, just read that. But I don't know. For all I know, the years could be longer in the Pokemon world. Hell, Oak might really just be 20. Or this is yet again another mistake in the Pokemon anime. This theory claims that Andy's mom is the former owner of Jessie. There's actually some proof to this. For one, Andy's hat isn't a Woody's hat, it's a Jessie hat, which Emily wore when she was playing with Jessie. She could have saved the hat and gave it to her son, who also liked cowboys. She does look very similar to what Emily looked like. And, the movies never really say what Andy's mom's name is, so she could be Emily. Also, she probably knew about Jessie and Woody's show, so she probably bought a Woody, not sexual, for her son. Wow, so, what do I think? Well, to be totally honest, Emily's hat and Andy's hat are different. And in the movie, they never really do say what Andy's mom's name is. However, in an earlier screenplay, it does state that her name was Jennifer Davis. But I did get this information from Cartoon Conspiracy on Channel Frederator, and I'll just trust them on that. But I think Andy's mom could have just bought some random cowboy toy because her son liked cowboys. The kids are not specific on exactly what they want. Buy them whatever the fuck you want to buy them. There! Play with that. I'm not going to bother explaining, I'm just going to show you the different connections. So yeah, I definitely think these shows are in the same universe. And those that aren't are at least referenced at least. If they're referenced, it means they exist in the universe. Yeah. Remember when Cartoon Network was fun back then? Okay. Let me just start off by saying Japan. This theory claims that my favorite Studio Ghibli film is about prostitution. Spirited Away is about prostitution. Let me reiterate, Japan. Okay, but to be honest though, there are some similarities to child prostitution in the film. For one, Chihiro is forced into it to help pay her parents' debt for angering a spirit. The story also takes place in a bathhouse, which, in Japan, bathhouses doubled as brothels. Not to mention, the clients at the house are disgusting creatures, similar to the people who pay for sex. No Face is an obsessive rich spirit that wants to own Chihiro and buy her virginity. Anyone else getting a Taken vibe right now? Also, Chihiro is also stripped of her name and given a new one, kind of like a hooker or a stripper. And on the door of the bathhouse, it says "you," which, in Japanese, means hot water. So what's so strange about that? Well, the people who worked at the bathhouse brothels were called Yuna, or hot water girls, which they are referred to in the movie. And the brothel owners were usually called Yubaba. Oh shit, that's what the witch's name is. Wow, so this got dark. Anyway, I think it could actually be true to be honest. Oh, and if you haven't actually seen this movie before, seriously, go watch this movie. Unless you actually think it's showing child porn. What the fuck is wrong with you? At the end of Aladdin, the genie is freed and shakes Aladdin's hand and flies off. Oh, but did I forget to mention the fact that the genie steals the lamp when he shakes Aladdin's hand? Cause he does. But what would the genie even want his old lamp for? To sell it, of course! The theory states that either Genie changes himself human after his freedom, or he disguises himself. He tries to sell the lamp to the audience. Sell me this lamp. The two look very similar, and they are both voiced by Robin Williams, so this could be true. That, or all of Aladdin was just made up by some crooked salesman who wanted you to buy his shit. Okay, that's one thing I never really got when I watched Monsters, Inc. Why do the monsters think the kids are poisonous? It's never explained, but this theory has an answer to it. Now, parents have scared their children with tales of monsters for thousands of years, but the myth of the boogeyman living in their closet didn't really come around until the Middle Ages. Now, think of the monsters society. They're actually pretty advanced. They invented technology that lets them travel to different worlds by walking through doors. Their society has scream-powered technology. No need for fossil fuels. Hell, if we were that advanced, we'd be putting those thermos things in baseball stadiums. Unlimited supply. Anyway, monsters are thousands of years more advanced than us, so no telling when they started working on door technology. Well, the theory states that during the Middle Ages is when monsters perfected door technology and would enter children's rooms through their closets. Hell, maybe monsters even used to kill and eat the children. But now think of what was happening during the Middle Ages. The bubonic plague. You know, the thing that almost killed off all of humanity. Yeah. Well, what if a monster ate a child who had the plague, or one of the fleas landed on him and went back to Monsterland? Suddenly, he gets sick, and the monster world is infected with it as well. This kills off many monsters until it's finally outlawed. that traveling through doors should be banned, and children are dangerous creatures. This is also why the monsters react so fast when there's a 2319, so that they can quarantine before anyone else catches the disease. The theory goes on to say that suddenly there's an energy shortage and the monster scientists discover scream power. Companies capitalize on this and train specialists to go through doors, harvest screams, and escape. Thus, Monster Inc. Oh, and the reason they harvest screams instead of laughter is because in the Middle Ages there weren't a lot of laughing children, so they didn't know about it. So, do I think this theory is true? Yeah, but I kinda did have to fill in some of the blanks. But I think it successfully makes sense of why kids fear monsters and why monsters fear kids. Alright. This is the last imagination theory, I promise. But this one is the highest because I used to play this game before the show was even out. At me and my sister's evil babysitters, we used to play Kids Next Door all the time with the other kids in the neighborhoods and the kids there too. I was number 32. So yeah, I definitely think Kids Next Door is just a game that some neighborhood kids are playing. All the villains are just the adults in the neighborhood who don't like the kids running around with toy guns and stuff. And their treehouse is a little bit over exaggerated. And the reason the parents don't question anything that's going on is because it's just a game. That's why they see all adults as evil and wanting to take over the world, yet they exclude their parents. Teenagers are villains because they always make fun of their little stupid games once they grow out of it. Oh, and they have to fucking wear bras. That's pretty funny. The other operatives play their own way. That's why they have different looking bases or different technology. Also, during battles, sometimes they have moments where they have to do something else and they stop fighting for a moment. If this was all real, the adults would have won immediately. There's more to this theory, but I think you get why it's higher than the other ones. The thing about this theory is, even if it's true, it doesn't change a thing about the show. It still makes sense, which is why I think it's true. But I do blame Kid Next Door for my eternal hatred of the Amish. This theory claims that Courage and his family aren't in the middle of nowhere. They're on the outskirts of hell. Say hi to Wiley for me. All the monsters Courage fights off are actually demons that are trying to escape to our world. Courage doesn't know it, but he's actually our last line of defense before they finally make it to us. He's just trying to protect his family. Now, there's more about the computer being an angel, or even God, and that love is a weapon to use against evil, and blah blah blah. Unfortunately, the theory is debunked by the fact that Muriel and Eustace take Courage out to the city sometimes. So yeah, not true. Too campy. Still good though, but it's not perfect. This is what the theory comes from. And holy shit, the Smurfs are racist. Yeah, there's no real defending any of this. That is racist. There's even more about Gargamel being a Jewish stereotype, greedy, trying to turn the Smurfs to gold. Or the Smurfs are communist. Or even Nazis. Or some other white supremacist group. Well, blue supremacist, actually. So yeah, I definitely think this theory is true. I can't debunk that at all. Oh, and also, if you guys have ever seen the Robot Chicken sketch of the Smurfs versus the Snorks, it's fucking hilarious. So we already covered a lot, like subliminal messages, racism in cartoons, and Mickey Mouse being evil and stuff, but does that all mean that Disney is inappropriate? A majority of the inappropriate things in Disney cartoons and shows and stuff are just jokes mostly aimed for the adults who have to sit through it. A majority of it could just be, images taken out of context, but Disney has to put something in their shows for the adults who watch it too. And yeah, they're jokes that kids won't understand. But to be honest though, Disney's probably only family-friendly network for cartoons now. Except for Gravity Falls, because that shit's Illuminati. I don't know, I guess I just get off at ruining people's childhoods, but here's another one. So before I begin, I'll just point out that it's pretty obvious that toons and humans definitely have a disconnect in that there's toons living in a human world. Sounds a lot like the humans feel superior to toons, much like how whites felt superior to African Americans. The theory states that the movie takes place in the 1940s, the height of the Jim Crow era, and there's a crow in it named Jim. Yeah. Anyway, to continue, toons don't have any high-paying professions like doctors or lawyers. Toons get jobs as performers, similar to jazz clubs in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. And that brings us to Jessica Rabbit. Some of the men watching this had to resist the urge to jack it. Anyway, Eddie Valiant says he hates toons, yet he shows some form of attraction to Mrs. Rabbit. This is very much like how white men who had attraction towards African women would feel. And finally, Doom. Judge Doom. Pistol peckin' possum. Maybe. He disguises himself as human so that he could become successful. He tries to hide his toon heritage in order to get far in life. Judge Doom is an Uncle Tom-like character who sells out his own race for his own personal benefit. Not only that, he wants to gentrify Toontown so he could build a freeway. Need more proof? They even use toon as a racial slur. And go ahead and replace the T with a C. Go on. Oh, I'm so telling. Coma theories are used to explain why a character doesn't age, or why things get even crazier or more fantastic as a show goes on, or why a show gets worse as time goes on. So as much as I really don't believe in these, I had to put them higher simply because it's probably the one that's the most undebunkable. And it makes more sense that it's all a coma dream than it's just pretend. So I pretty much just put them all in this list. Okay, this is a cool theory to think about. What if Frankie was an imaginary friend to Madame Foster? The two do seem to be wearing similar clothes, leading some to believe Frankie is the younger version of Madame Foster. She may have been created to run the house when Madame Foster finally died. Also, Frankie is her granddaughter, yet we never hear anything about Frankie's parents. And Frankie never does things a normal 22-year-old would do. She doesn't go to college or hang out with friends. She stays home and watches imaginary friends all day. Yeah, not a normal thing to be doing at 22. However, in one episode, Frankie does go on a date with someone. So this means Frankie probably doesn't know she's imaginary. But wait, Frankie has a driver's license. So that means she couldn't be imaginary, right? Well, who's to say Madame Foster created her and also didn't create the wallet and ID in her pocket? But as much as I love this theory, it's unfortunately debunked by one of my favorite episodes in the series. In the episode The Big Picture, you can see Frankie age over time. So unless she's imaginary and able to age, I'm afraid it's out. Yeah, I really did like this theory. But then again, who really knows who's imaginary after all? Okay, this isn't necessarily a cartoon, but I'll count it. So yeah, the whole thing 1 and thing 2 deal sounds very suspicious, but what else could make people think he's a pedophile? Well, Dr. Seuss usually puts adult messages within his kids' books, like Yertle the Turtle being about Hitler and the Grinch about segregation. So what's the cat's message exactly? Pedophilia, of course. At the beginning of the book, the kid's mother leaves. Their mother just leaves them. She doesn't just leave, she walks out, not even bothering to close the door behind her. So, in walks some cat in the hat. The family fish doesn't like him immediately, but that could just be because cats eat fish. Now think of the cat's style. A hat with red and white stripes. You might be thinking, so what? Well, during Dr. Seuss' time, red and white stripes were given to pedophiles in prison, unlike the standard black and white. Yeah, you definitely should have listened to that fish. And it gets worse when you read the next book, The Cat in the Hat Comes Back. He keeps making regular visits to them, even creepier. And don't worry, it gets even darker. The very last lines are, should we tell her about it? Now, what should we do? Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? Holy shit. Mr. Dink, Crocker, and Herbert ain't got shit on him. But what do I think? I think I should have put a ruined childhood warning up. Also, the Michael Myers version didn't give you that vibe at all. Come on. Wow, so this was probably the longest video I've ever had to make. Holy shit. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh man. One more week. And while waiting, subscribe, you know? You don't want to miss the finals when they come up, do you? So yeah, thanks guys so much. I really appreciate it. You have 20 subscribers. That's pretty fucking insane. That's the same as my Let's Play channel, and I've had that for like months. So yeah, you guys are pretty awesome fans, you know? Thank you so much. I've said that too much, you know. Don't forget to leave a comment, suggestion, you know, like this video. Forgot to do that. Yeah, I reminded you. If I was wrong anywhere or you have more evidence, leave that in the comments too. And, well, you know, while you're here, could you go to my Let's Play channel with me and my friends? And, you know, that'd be nice of you. And subscribe to their channels because they're cool too. I know it's so hard. You have to keep clicking that subscribe button for so many people. But yeah. I don't have any social media, but I'm on YouTube every day, so I'll definitely read all your comments and stuff if you leave them. So yeah, I don't really do much of anything else, so wouldn't be fun. This is probably the point of the video when you've already clicked away to watch something else. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now. Yeah, thank you guys again, and yes, stay alive.